Hello and welcome everyone. This is Type V3 with the Figma review of release number 203, Mikasa Ackerman, the lead female protagonist from the hugely successful series Attack on Titan. In typical Figma fashion, Mikasa comes off as an almost perfect representation of her appearance in the anime, and a lot of it simply comes down to Max Factory just nailing her overall silhouette. The slender build and form-fitting attire really sell her look. There's plenty of sculpted detail, and the pulls and wrinkles throughout her uniform give the figure character. Paint apps, as you would imagine, are crisp and sharply applied. The same can be said of the tamper-graphed logos. While some of the joints are visible, I wouldn't call them distracting. She also has peg holes all over her body, but clever placement keeps them mostly hidden. Of course, there are still aspects that could use improvement. Specifically, Mikasa uses a lot of surface sculpting, and I think this figure would have benefited more from layered materials. The straps on her midsection look flat, and upon closer inspection, they're not even painted on the sides. Moreover, her collar is one singular molded piece. Had both these sections been molded separately and then attached over top, the figure's aesthetics would have been further enhanced with depth. As a side note, opening up Mikasa's jacket reveals a deformed torso. In fact, it's the jacket itself that creates the visual illusion of a properly proportioned body. This isn't a complaint, just more or less an odd observation. One of the biggest strengths with the Figma line is their ability to capture the likeness of an anime character, and Mikasa doesn't break this tradition. Whether it's the neutral, teeth clenched, or yelling expression, all her faces are spot on. Even her modest hairstyle has the right amount of lines and volume to it. To add variation, you can replace her red scarf for a white collar. It looks fine, if not a little boring. Furthermore, on top of either of these neck pieces, you can layer on a green mantle. Unfortunately, it's only sculpted in a flowing action pose, making it look odd when Mikasa's standing stationary. Still, it's a great looking add-on. Being a post-200 release, Mikasa adopts the new 2.0 body, which results in Figma joints being used for everything. Basically, you've got a pivot joint that can be rotated at each of the pegs. For the most part, it gets the job done, though I was surprised at how limited the elbows and knees were. On the other hand, the hidden thigh swivel was nice, and the hips provide a good range of movement. The other big change with the 2.0 body are the hands, ditching the old hinged peg for a full-on Figma joint. Overall, Mikasa can pose well enough. The minor improvements are nice, but up against the competition, the Figma body is still a step behind in pure articulation. On to the accessories, and there's a decent amount to go through. On her hand rack, you get open palms, splayed fingers, generic gripping hands, and a final set which we'll touch upon later. You're also given an extra wrist joint should you break one. Other extras include a Figma bag and a display stand. Mikasa's most notable inclusion comes in the form of the three-dimensional maneuver gear. Paintwork and details are magnificent, the metallic paint and glossy finish just pop, and all the cables are made from soft rubbery plastic to provide movement. Connecting the equipment to the figure is simple. It pegs in at 5 different places on the body, one in the lower back and 2 spots on each of the legs. Mikasa can hold the attached triggers with the use of the specific gripping hands. All in all, a complex but satisfying setup. Now the fun doesn't stop there because there's a multitude of options with the 3D maneuver gear. Firstly, you can add blades to the hand grips for weapons. Next is the gas propellant effect part, which connects the equipment to the display stand. It's a great look, and I was surprised that the stand could support all the weight. Finally, you get the piston shot grapple hooks with small gas effect parts. Now while these are nice, they can also be replaced for strings with clips on each end. This means you can suspend Mikasa mid-air, though because of the connection points, balancing her is tricky and the display stand may still be required. Nonetheless, the diversity of the gear is impressive. I'm not the biggest Attack on Titan fan, and I actually bought Figma Mikasa because of the surrounding hype rather than personal excitement. But with that said, I can honestly say this is an excellent figure. The beautiful presentation combined with the extensive play options make for one of Figma's finest releases to date. Accessories are the standout quality in this package and were implemented brilliantly. The changes achieved with the new 2.0 body are good and add value. Although I will admit I'm a little disappointed that there wasn't a vast improvement with articulation. Especially in this case where Mikasa is a super agile character and this figure comes nowhere near close enough in replicating some of her more spectacular moves seen in the anime. Obviously, with all these features comes a large price tag. However, I found 5,000 yen to be appropriately priced. Attack on Titan fans will be pleased with Figma Mikasa Ackerman. Equally so, any figure collector. Max Factory have definitely raised expectations of the Figma line with Mikasa, and going forward, I'm very interested to see if they can keep up these high levels of production with future releases. But that's all for me. Thanks for watching, and stick around because Attack on Titan coverage isn't quite over.